Think about the one thing in yourself that you would most like to change. Not what you desire to see change in your circumstances or in some other person, but in yourself. And then ask yourself, do I really want freedom from this sin? Because it's going to cost something. Ask yourself, am I happy with this character flaw that I have? Because it's going to cost something. Am I happy with this destructive behavior? It's going to cost something. Do I really want to grow in this area? Your first response might be to say, of course I do. Of course I want to change. But do you really want to change? You see, you can promise your mom and your dad every day the same thing. I'll stop. But do you really want to change? You see, you can promise your wife or your spouse every day, I'm going to stop drinking. But do you really want to change? You see, you can promise somebody that I will break with these ugly friends that I have. But do you really want to change? Or are you in a grip of a habit? I believe that it is possible for God to transform all of us. I believe God can show up in our lives. I believe He will show up in the lives of our children. I believe He will show up in the lives of our husbands and our wives. And I believe He will show up in our businessmen. I believe He will show up. I believe He will show up in our finances. I believe He will show up in our sickness. I believe He will show up. God will show up. He got the right to show up. Satan has been stripped. The keys now is in His hands. He will break the chains of hell and darkness. He will break the chains of any form of attack. God have the right to show up. Transformation costs a price. And if we get back to the word of the Lord, the man at the pool of Bethesda, I'm closing. Do you want to get well? I'm here for 38 years. Do you want to get well? Yeah, you will not understand, Pastor. You don't know what they did to me. You're actually saying, I'm here for 38 years. How is it that you cannot see through the eye of the visionary? Because you are here for 38 years. Why is it that you cannot just forgive one another and sit like brothers and ask one another for forgiveness? Because I'm here for 38 years. But do you want to get well? You won't understand. I know I'm not married, but I love sex. I'm here for 38 years. I know I am married, but I have a spare wheel at work. We meet in the car park and we have sex. That's why I can't have sex at home with my wife, because I have sex at work during lunchtime. I'm here for 38 years. Do you want to get well? Or do you have growth problems? Do you hear the word, but you don't hear the word? Are you off balance? Do you have sight problems? Do you have hearing problems? Is your head smaller than your body? Are you misshaped in your spirit? I'm asking you, who's grooming you? Because a mother is concerned about the health of the baby, but I'm asking you, who's your mentor? If your pastor is your mentor, let him be your mentor. But I'm asking, who's mentoring you at home while the pastor preaches? I'm asking, who's mentoring you after the service? I'm asking you, who's fathering you besides the word of the Lord? Who is mismanaging you? Who have a measuring stick around your head and make your head smaller while God wants to establish you? Makes you an imbalanced, sick baby Who's the cause that you are just climbing trees like a worm? Is where you're supposed to go from flower to flower, from flower to flower, from flower to flower. And get that, I'm asking, who's mentoring your growth? It's a battle for a preacher to preach the infallible word, and then at home somebody else mentors you. It's a battle for me to stand here and convince you that God can change. If you have a tea party after the service and not built on the word, you are developing Mr. 38 years, Mrs. 38 years, you're developing sick babies. The reason why I'm not sick as a preacher today is because those who mentor me was not smoking. And I'm now not referring to the smoke in the cigarette in your hand. I'm referring to the health considering the growth of an unborn child. Spiritually, who's making you sick? If you look at the word, the Lord healed him. He left the pool with excitement, not even asking, so what's your name? And why did you heal me? But he left. And the Bible says later on, he met up with the healer again, Jesus Christ. And he looked at him, and Jesus looked at him, and I like the way it's placed. Later, Jesus found him at the temple, and he said to him, I can just see Jesus. He laughs a little. I see you are still healed. Can you see it? Yeah. He walks up, and I guess he was with others, and he said, there's he, let's go ask him. And before he could say anything, Jesus said, ek sien jy is nog gesond, my lady. Are you with me?